guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Saturday, February 24th, with plenty of Celtic stuff. Obviously, Celtics-Knicks play tonight as we're recording this. By the time you hear this, they will have played already. We're going to talk about that in just a minute now. But we are here. Sam, how you doing? I haven't talked to you today. It's weird. I usually talk to you more than once throughout the day.
Freezing.
It's cold.
One of those days is just freezing in this house. I don't know. The heat should be on. It's not really my.
It's not
my post.
Not happening for you. Tough. Yeah, like I said, we'll get into the Celtics Knicks. I will say few housekeeping items very quickly because we never say this. One, spoiler alert: know what's popping today. No one entered, so I'm gonna say at the start of the video. Comment what's popping on the video for a chance to win a $10 gift card to Incognito. Again, comment below the video what's popping for a chance to be entered on the wheel. Win a $10 Incognito gift card. If you've won already, you can't enter again. But if you'd like a chance, please do that. And outside of that, leave a like. Just comment and leave a like and subscribe. Please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Apparently, there's analytics where if I say it sooner in the video, more people will do it. So like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Anyways, let's talk about Celtics Knicks now. All right, we are here post game after Celtics Knicks. As you can tell on YouTube by this big grin on Sam's face, it was a positive result for the Celtics last night. Took home a 116-102 win over the New York Knicks, despite a hot start from Jaylen Brunson. Big game, big win for the Celtics. Really good win for the Celtics, regardless of how shorthanded the Knicks are. They handled their business, and that's what you want to see.
What a fantastic night this is. I mean, the circle jerk that has been the Knicks are back. Oh, the Knicks are so great. Oh, the Knicks are going to beat the Celtics. It's not looking so hot. I understand that there were players missing. One of them being Randall, who's going to fumble around and probably make things harder on Jaylen Brunson when he's back. But the Celtics fucked around for a half. Still went into the break with a lead. Shout out to did your dad win? No, Tatum didn't have 25.
No, I don't think so. No. Tatum had 19, actually. Slow day for him.
Yeah.
Good day for him, though. He played well. But
anyways, go into the half, barely up. Disaster end of the half where they get blocked and then give up a basket the other way. 4-point swing. And then they come out in the third quarter as they have been all the games.
This win streak, yeah.
And they said that's enough of that, made all the shots, and then carried it over enough into the fourth quarter where this game wasn't close again. Very proud of them. I like the way they handled this game. They didn't get flustered. I hated that they gave up a zillion offensive rebounds. I do have to complain. Did not like that one bit. Tweeted about it on the pod account. Everybody seemed to agree. That's the only thing I ask. Because early in this game, the Knicks were not missing. The Celtics really didn't miss a lot today at all.
The Knicks were making some tough threes early in the game, though. I know what you're talking about.
And then they would finally fucking miss. And then, lo and behold, the ball is in Hartenstein's hands.
I feel like a lot of people are
possession.
I know. I feel like a lot of people are going to jump at Kristaps for that. I don't really think it was fully his fault. Like, Hartenstein, that is what Hartenstein does. That is why he's in the league. Like, that is his thing. He is a great offensive rebounder. He hustles. Kristaps is focusing all his effort onto boxing him out. He's going to get a hand in there. Celtics needed to send more guys crashing glass. And they did make the adjustment eventually. There were some scattered throughout the second half, but they were much better at grabbing those offensive rebounds in the second half. So credit to them for making that adjustment. Brunson scored 34, but outside of that, no one else really had a huge game for the Knicks. And I think that looked to be the Celtics game plan going in. They were just kind of letting them cook. They were just saying, all right, Brunson, you beat us. No one else is, right?
That's what it felt like.
And it was frustrating to watch in the first quarter when he was doing that. He was cooking. And then he did carry it over into the second half and make some tough buckets. But in the end, they were able to contain everybody else, relatively speaking. I mean, Josh Hart had a pretty good night. DiVincenzo made his threes, but nothing else. So there were some things in there. Miles McBride played all right, but I think they did a pretty good job of defending. Like I tweeted at the end of the first quarter, Jaylen Brunson was cooking them. It felt like they were playing frustrated, and they gave up 26 points in the first quarter. Like that's not a terrible defense. That's pretty bang average. So that is fine. And 13 of them were Brunson. So you take that. They stayed solid. They gave up 15 offensive rebounds. They grabbed 11 of their own. However, of those 15 offensive rebounds, they gave up, I'm just checking my math here. I guess 7 were in the first half. So they did give up a decent amount. 5 were in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, shut it down.
4 of them came right off the rip out of the break. It was, hey, I really would like to see the Celtics rebound better in the second half. And then they were like, watch this. And I
think that's what it was.
All the offensive rebound.
I think the second half offensive rebounds were amplified. Like, it felt like they did a much better job because when they gave up 1, they gave up like 3 on the same possession. And so it was kind of like, not saying it's not frustrating, but
of the third quarter, they probably gave up 2 for the rest of the game. So you can't complain too much. They did tighten it up. I was very concerned when they came out and that happened right away. I was ripshit pissed. But overall, good Celtics win, good response. Like you said, it was definitely like a, hey, Jalen Brunson will get his, but nobody else is doing anything. And worked.
It did. Shout out, credit.
The injuries caught up to them in that sense because they were able to be like, all right. I didn't love the drop coverage. Got to tell you.
Really?
Despise the drop coverage.
I understood it because you saw what would happen.
PTSD.
You saw what they would happen when they pressed up on Brunson, though. They were just like, he was just getting to the line. Like, he would just get a foul call.
Throwing himself.
And so, exactly. So, like, if Kristaps had pressed up any further and played switch and, like, played at the level, he would have just gotten fouls. And so I didn't mind the drop coverage because, like, the math eventually evened out. Obviously, the Celtics just shot the shit out of the ball. But giving up middies to Brunson versus generating open threes in there, and like it's going to balance out. And I'd rather give up those shots than anything else. Andrew's got to be pissed though. Sorry, Andrew.
Man has to be devastated. He just spent the whole month in our comments saying how great the Knicks are. And they lose by double digits in a laugher of the second half. Devastated.
If it's any consolation, Andrew, technically this is kind of a Knicks podcast today, so you can have some sort of
No, this is the podcast. You should comment about the Knicks, actually.
Yeah, let's hear it. You see the banner at the top. Let's hear it.
My favorite of all the comments was that Brad Stevens was a bad GM.
Is that what Andrew said?
He said the Knicks GM is better than Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens, who has not missed on a move.
Yeah, that's special stuff. That's special stuff from him. We can talk about the Celtics too, though. Jaylen Brown was superior. Jaylen. You now have to spell Jaylen with the Y. That's the rule now because of this game. Thoughts? I think that should be the rule. But Jaylen, 30 points, 13 of 24, 3 of 9, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers in this game. Dude, he was making every fucking shot. He didn't miss anything. Like in that, what was it? The second quarter where he was just like tearing everything up. Like, dude, he was making the toughest middies I've ever seen, making great shots at the rim. He was flexing on him. He was playing defense. He was locking up Brunson. Like, credit Jaylen on this one. He had a couple, like, what are you doing plays? Like, he missed Derek White on a pass around. He let Miles McBride just kind of walk by him. There's one other thing that I forget where he took a weird shot or something and it just stalled the play. But there's no real complaints because he was the reason they were able to overcome a bunch of Knicks runs. His scoring in this game was ridiculous. So lots of credit to JB.
JB was excellent. He loves to play in New York. I'll tell you that. All I could think about is that 44, 45 point game he had to open the season the year under Ime. Granted, it went into double overtime, but he was excellent throughout that entire game. He came out today, drilled back-to-back threes to start the game, and then it was just on. He did a great job of driving, got to the basket. He was wildly efficient. I think he shot, 70% for the game. He just picked his spots. This has been what we've seen from Jaylen over the last month. He's just being very careful with what he's doing on the offensive end, and it's really, really shown up. Can't be happier with the way he's played. He's really starting to buy into what's going on with his team. Tonight was a bit of an anomaly in terms of the amount of shots he took, but it was a night where Jaylen should take 24 shots. Jaylen had it. He was cooking. Why would he not take the most shots on the team when he is clearly firing on all cylinders? The rest of the lineup fell right into place. It was incredible. Only 15 shots for Tatum, 11 for Porzingis, 10 for Holiday, 8 for White, and nobody else took more than 7. Horford had a pretty decent game off the bench.
Horford was good.
The way that this team can just say, all right, this is what we're doing today. It doesn't mean it's going to be what we're doing against Philly on Tuesday is remarkable because it works. That's the beauty of having all these guys on your team, a super team, if you will. But it's a super team that just added the cherries on top because Jaylen and Jason have been playing together for years, but Holiday and Porzingis, two guys that have been around the league. Holiday's won a championship. He's been able to see what it takes, and Porzingis is just happy to be on a team that doesn't suck. They are willing to instill the sacrifice into this group, and everybody is fully embracing it. Credit those guys, credit the Jays, credit Missoula, because Missoula preaches this shit all the time, and they are all in. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like you said, I wrote about it after the Bulls game. Their ability to anybody can take over at any night. Like, obviously, JB, I think, was the star in the show. He's probably the best player in this game, but this was a great fucking Tatum game, too. Like, he shot 2 of 8 from 3, so he didn't have a great shooting night. But outside of that, 5 of 7 from the field, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. His defense was nuts. This dude was all over the place on defense. Comfortable taking 15 shots. He played 43 minutes in this one. He played almost the entire game, which is far more than anybody else. He played 8 more minutes than the next highest Celtic, which was Drew Holiday, who also played very well. He gets a ton of credit, Tatum, in this one for the way he handled himself on both ends of the court. He had 6 assists, but they said it on the broadcast industry. He had a ton of hockey assists too. Like, it was a lot of, I'm going to drive, pass it out, and create an open look. That one play, I posted it to Twitter so I can pull it up pretty easily. This was the play of the game, and you already know what I'm pulling up. This play right here is what the Celtics, I think you at least, hope the Celtics should be able to do on every single possession of every single game, which might not be completely realistic, but just watch this play. Watch this. Every time. Derek White brings the ball up, drives on 2, draws 2, kicks it to the corner to Jaylen, swings to Tatum, who draws a jump, kicks it to KP on the wing, kicks it to Drew Holiday in the corner, bang, 3, open 3. This ball movement, amazing.
Tremendous display of patience from everybody involved. Derek White has the instinct to push the pace on the fast break. He goes, 1-on-3 initially in the paint, 1-on-4 technically, forces the issue, gets Hartenstein to collapse, and then from there, the Celtics just pick them apart. Tatum, instead of electing to fire up a 3, makes the extra move, gets to the free throw line, and then New York is completely in rotation, and they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And it finds the man that doesn't miss from the corner. Corner 3.
Drew Holiday had a great night as well in this one, dude. Everybody in the Celtics played their role beautifully. Jaylen Brown was the guy with his scoring, but everyone played well. Derek White hit his 3s, 6 assists, 6 for Drew Holiday too. What I'm most impressed was, or another thing I was impressed with, I should say, in this game is something that carried over from the Bulls game in a sense. So in the Bulls game, you saw
Springer
Vucevic. No. Imagine it was like the 2 minutes of Jaden Springer.
Yeah.
No. First half against the Bulls, Vucevic murdered him, right? Killed him, right in the post.
Yep.
Second half, they come out, keep him out of the paint, throw more bodies at him, adjust the defensive game plan. First quarter in this one, Jalen Brunson, ton of bodies, right? They drop coverage, everything. Second quarter, they're up on him. They're up everywhere. Like, they're in his grill. They might not be they might not have played completely at the level. They might have still been in a pseudo drop, but they were throwing a lot more pressure at Jalen Brunson. They were flashing different, coverages at him. The Celtics' ability to let something, not necessarily let it hurt them in the first quarter, but notice the one thing that's beating them and completely eradicate it. Like, Jalen Brunson had 13 points in the first quarter and he finished with 34. But like in the second half, let me see if I'm a moron or I'm just talking out of my ass. I guess he had 15 in the second half, but he shot 5 of 12. Like they completely mitigated his efficiency in the second half. And if that's not a thing, like Celtics in the second half outscored the Knicks 54-44 by 10 points. And then the third quarter, it was 4 of 9 from Brunson, but everyone else was like, meh. Celtics shot 72-69 and outscored him by 9. Like
every quarter,
they completely,
not that hard, really.
Shut the fuck up. They completely changed their defensive looks or threw enough different looks to make him less effective, and that's what allowed them to sort of get ahead. On top of shooting 70% from 3 does help. I'll say that it helps a little bit, but I don't think that's a fluke because they got open looks and they were missing some open looks early on, or it felt. I guess they weren't. Or the second quarter, sorry, yeah, I guess they only shot 1 of 4, but it felt like they didn't generate a lot of threes in the first half, like comparatively to what they usually shoot.
Well, they had like 36 paint points really early in this game. So they did a great job of getting themselves inside. Jaylen got a lot of his points, whether it was from baseline cuts, baseline drives, or fadeaways in the post. He was doing a great job of like not settling for threes. Not to say I thought the threes were bad at all today. I know it's actually the opposite of what you were saying. They didn't take any threes in the first half. But they were very careful in everything they did. And it was almost the perfect Celtics game, except they didn't rebound. Because everything was just like, read the room. Drives are working, keep driving. Oh, now the threes are falling? Okay, great. We're going to continue to move the ball.
Shoot them.
Yeah. Like Porzingis' threes were so timely. They were all open by his standards, meaning nobody was at his eye level. And they just bottomed down right through. No problem. And I thought Porzingis was rough in this game for a while, whether you want to attribute it to the rebounding. I just thought, like, I don't know, he was getting, like, the refs in his head. He had the 2 defensive 3 seconds, which the second one was very, very fast. He picked up, what do you have, 4 or 5 fouls in this game? Like, he was a focal point. He wasn't super impactful early in this game. He did turn it up big time in the second half, and he made his presence known to close out the game. He had a big block on McBride on the dunk there. So I was happy with the way he responded. As a team, just impressed. Because, like you said, this was a game they could have just continued to have things go wrong because it wasn't pretty. And I had the tweet typed out and I didn't hit send because I was like, well, I don't know. Besides the rebounding, I'm actually pretty satisfied with this.
Yeah,
but I was like, it feels like the Celtics are trying to lose because they weren't finishing possessions.
It felt like the Bulls game to me. It felt like it was like the Celtics were playing better. The Celtics were playing better basketball. The Knicks, like early on, especially the Knicks were making some ridiculously contested threes. And the Celtics, while they were getting in the paint, they weren't generating the number of threes that they usually like to get to. Like, I mean, in this game, the Celtics shot fewer shots by 1. They shot 3 fewer threes. They shot 4 fewer free throws, and they got 6 fewer rebounds, and they won the game. Right? Like, that's not something that happens. I'd be surprised if that's happened more than 3 times this season, 5 times this season. It just felt like the Celtics were playing a better brand of basketball. Like, I thought the defense was okay outside of the rebounding. And for what it's worth, like a good chunk of those, like I would say half were send more bodies at them. But the other half were like 3-point shots that went awry or Isaiah Hartenstein just like over the backing on Kristaps to get a hand on the ball. So as frustrating as it was, it also felt like some of them were unavoidable. And at least like 5 of them weren't separate possessions. They were on the same exact possession. The Celtics just couldn't get their head out of their ass. And so I don't think it was as big of an issue as the 15 suggests. Not saying it wasn't a problem because it was a fucking problem. Like it was the reason the Knicks were in the game for the first half and early in the third. But I don't know. And maybe it's just the fact that I think that they play at such a high level. Maybe you're too negative. I'm too positive. And that's kind of the theme, I suppose. But I don't know. It just felt like they were playing. The process was pretty good for them for the majority of the game.
I mean, I do agree. Like the only thing I was like, I hate this was the rebounds. Like I was literally about to tweet some negative shit. And I was like, nope, not going to do it. Nope.
Wow. That's progress. Let's go.
Well, I was just like, I don't know how fair that is. I mean, I was pissed about the rebounds, but like everything else was okay. Good focus. Like overall, I was okay with what they did, man. I thought Al Horford was really like a low key MVP.
He was awesome
today. Made some great cuts, created his shot a couple times. He fought on the glass. He had 4 offensive boards. Like he came to play. And if
some
he's able to give him that, you said what?
Old school Al too. Brought out the post moves. Like
that's what I mean.
Got in there.
He was creating his own shot.
Oh yeah. I see. Big time.
I mean, if he's gonna give him that in the playoffs, you know how great that is to have off the bench.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff. This was a good game. I texted Sam. It didn't matter at all. I thought the refs were questionable at times. It didn't. It genuinely didn't matter.
Hey, listen, Scott Foster might have had a bad game.
It genuinely didn't matter in the end. So it's not a complaint. Just like, you're really calling 3 seconds? They do that on every possession. Everybody does that on every single fucking possession. You just call 2. And the moving screens for the past 2 games. Like, what are we doing? Like, as if Isaiah Hartenstein isn't moving on every screen he sets. Like, I don't get it. But good game by the Celtics. Good Sam Hauser game. He didn't play a ton either, but he looked
Big boy
big.
first quarter from Hauser.
Big
You
rebound
tweeted about
from
the
him.
big boy boards. I thought
Yeah.
overall, I mean, he made a good cutting 3, and then he had a couple rebounds that were in traffic.
You know when this game I think was sealed though? I knew this game was over when Peyton Pritchard came fucking soaring in like Superman to grab an offensive rebound. They missed again. Horford tipped it out, and those two just battled the whole possession to make sure it ended in a bucket. As soon as Horford and Pritchard won them a possession, I was like, yeah, the Knicks are cooked. We're done. Get him out of here. So credit to the Celtics, man. This is a good win, regardless of the injuries. That's all Andrew and all the Knicks fans are going to scream, but they handled their business. It's not like they got squeaked out a 1-point win that they fought on. They went down a little in the first half, had a little scare early in the third, and then fucking took off and just killed them. And so that's what you need.
Imagine how many they win by if they wear the right jerseys.
It's true. Not asking the right questions here. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Doris Burke bad.
Really?
Yeah, she had to throw in a Jaylen left hand comment. Kind of over the left hand stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's the layup, as they say. Whatever. I didn't think it was terrible broadcast tonight.
No, I mean, anytime you get Mike Breen, it's fine. But you know, as the tweet goes, she was making her presence known.
Fair enough. All right, let's throw it over to the rest of the pod. All right, we're back. Hopefully, it was a pleasant post game. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, Andrew wasn't hounding us, but I'm sure he'll be there in the pregame. But we can get into some Celtic stuff, starting with the debuts of Xavier Tillman and Jaden Springer, both of whom played against the Bulls the other night, and both of whom have since talked about making their debuts. Xavier Tillman got some points. He scored a bucket, got a block. Jaden Springer took a shot, missed the shot, but both have spoken about what they're expecting from Boston. Tillman, I pulled this from an article from Bobby Manning at Celtics Blog and CLNS. Shout out. My role here, as far as what I can do, is definitely bringing energy, crashing glass, defending at a high level, and getting those guys open with screens. As far as my stint and stuff like that, we're a stay-ready team, and so that's what we'll do. Springer said, Missoula hasn't come out and said anything exactly about our roles. That's just how the league is. It's basketball. We're on a great team here, so you got to stay ready whenever your number is called and be there to help your teammates any way you can. Being able to come here, it was great. That was all the good news for me. I'm feeling good. Missoula also said something along those lines. I think the game, the rest of the season, will dictate opportunities for that. Right now, it's about staying ready, getting used to our schemes and offense and defense. And when the time is right, making sure they're ready to play, making sure they're ready to execute. So it's just patience. So it doesn't sound like we're going to be getting 20 minutes tonight of either of them. However, they're both, as has been the phrase all season, staying ready.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly seem to be taking their time with these guys. And they might have brought him in for a long-term type thing. I don't know. Tillman seems more of a help now type guy, even though I don't think he's going to oust anybody out of the lineup. Maybe Cornette if he's playing really well, but Cornette played well on Thursday. So tough start for that camp. As for Springer, he's always been this guy might be able to help us down the line type of player when they picked him up. He's only 21. He plays good defense. If they can get him to figure out how to do anything on offense, it's going to be a big help, and he'll be able to give them minutes on a cheap contract in the years to come. But it's good that they're not really rushing these guys, and these guys seem to be buying into the part where they don't really get minutes, and their job is just to be ready when their name is called, because they could have their name called. I mean, Tillman for sure could. I don't know how much Springer's going to play in the playoffs, but I could see Tillman getting minutes if they play the right team. Like, he could play Milwaukee and play Giannis, or have to try and hang with Lopez in the paint. I just don't know if Springer will have that same kind of fortune.
I agree. I think both are capable players. I mean, the Celtics traded for them for a reason, so I feel like they could be used in the future. I just don't know if that's going to be this season, and I think they both understand that and are okay with it. Jaden Springer also talked about the difference between playing for the Celtics and playing for the Sixers. He said, here it's more read and react. You're going out there playing based off each other, playing based off your teammates. You're going out there and just hooping, playing basketball. So I thought that was fun or funny to hear. I just think
here the fans believe we'll get past the second round of the playoffs.
I feel like you need to have a certain mindset to play for the teams where it is two stars and everybody else. And obviously the Celtics are like that in the sense that they have a lot of stars, but I feel like the fact that they have 5 guys who all need the basketball rather than just 1 or 2 means it spreads out even more, even amongst the role players. Like Hauser's averaging like 9 a game. Pritchard gets to run the offense a little bit. Al Horford gets his shots up. O'Shea Brissett finds a role. I feel like the Celtics are very good at finding a role for everybody and letting them thrive in that role. Whereas like, I'm not like, it's not the player's fault. It's just the system that they've been placed in, the system that works best for them. But like Embiid, Jokic, Luka, like Giannis, slash Dame, like these 1/2-star teams are very, you play around them. That's how we're going to play. And as much as the Celtics have a clear hierarchy, I feel like the play style is not as much like that.
Sorry.
Tough time for
Jan. Yeah, I couldn't control it. Couldn't stop it. But in terms of the Celtics, your point is great. I mean, the fact that these guys have to play as a team, they almost have no kind of choice because everybody's so good. They have to trust each other, and they've done a great job at doing that this season. Everybody can step up, have a great game, and nobody bats an eye. Derek White was the leading scorer against Chicago on Thursday. Porzingis has been a leading scorer. Jaylen Brown has. Tatum has. I don't know if Holiday's been the leading scorer, but he's still cracked 20 plenty of times. And then the guys off the bench can also just pop off. I know there was a game where Pritchard was the leading scorer. Sam Hauser is pretty reliable to knock down a couple threes. Even Cornette hit double digits against the Bulls. Like, the ball moves around really well for the Celtics. It doesn't feel like it sticks as much as it used to in years past. And that's a huge thing for these new players coming into the team. All it takes is like one good game to get some confidence, especially for somebody like the 21-year-old Springer. Like, I don't know. If he starts seeing the ball go in the basket off of some easy looks he gets from playing with a bunch of great players, he could really be a spark plug if they decide to use him. Tillman, same thing. That field goal percentage being like 40% in Memphis is kind of subjective to, wow, Memphis had G League guys out there playing alongside him, while in Boston, he's going to be asked to do the same things that Luke Cornette is asked to do. And Cornette shoots almost 70%, probably over 70% now that we've come back from the break. Like, there's plenty of opportunity for both of these guys to play up and play better than they may be expected to.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think both of them will have plenty of opportunities. You mentioned the, this player scored, had his big nights. This player's had his big night. It reminded me of a trivia question we had this summer. Sam, how many Celtics players have scored a 20-point game this season?
Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Derek White, Holiday,
yep.
Pritchard,
yep.
Hauser has.
No
Hauser.
No
Horford?
Hauser. Surprisingly, Horford, yes, he has 1.
He has 1. Am I missing any? Hold on, don't tell me. Don't tell. Well, I'm missing
1.
Am I brain damaged?
No, it's a haha funny one. Got the start against the Raptors. It popped.
I don't remember.
Luke, big
Cornette.
Luke.
Yeah, he did have that. That's right.
He did.
How can I forget that? That was a huge game, and I've referenced it before.
8 Celtics players, not Hauser. Hauser's season high is 17, but he is averaging 8 points on the season, so good for him. Anyways, I'm excited for the new guys. Excited to see them embodying the right mindset, I suppose. Like, they're giving off the right mindset, which is a good thing to see. But
it's a fact.
Next thing, a former Celtic recently took to Twitter. Did you see this? I assume Isaiah Thomas.
I see him.
So a Twitter user on Twitter responded to something about the Celtics 15th roster spot and said the 15th roster spot.
You know what the original one was?
What?
So the original tweet was Celtics do the right thing. 15th roster spot, Taco Fall. And then somebody responded.
Somebody responded, the 15th spot realistically will not get a single minute in the playoffs. Why not add Isaiah Thomas? They added him. And that's no disrespect to him, but more of a nod. He deserves a ring for the effort and the grind he put in for us. His leadership is certainly going to help. Isaiah Thomas responded to it, said, my leadership alone would put this team over the hump. I don't even have to play a single minute. Just give me a jersey, LOL.
He's in.
What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so one, I think the Twitter user is correct. I kind of think he deserves it. Sure. First and foremost, I've said that for years. I thought he should be part of whatever they're trying to do going forward. The retort to that has always been, one, You don't want to diminish his legacy with the Celtics. Fair.
Mhm.
2, the way Isaiah Thomas has put himself across and conveys himself is he's trying to get on a team where he can contribute. The Celtics would not be that. He would not be doing anything for the Celtics except kind of being a mascot, which is great if that's what he wants to do. And it sounds like he wants to do that. Do I think his leadership alone would put them over the hump? I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm buying everything he's saying, but if he's willing to just come and hang out, I mean, what else are you getting from that 15 spot? I don't see any and I've always been on like what difference does it make if it's him or somebody else? That guy's not going to play.
All right. So we've talked about this many times. I love Isaiah Thomas. You love Isaiah Thomas. We love Isaiah Thomas. This kind of I don't like the reply. I think it's corny. Am I crazy? Is that like it's just
what
weird.
Reply? Him? Isaiah replying?
Thomas is, I think it's a little corny.
I do think it is like, a little bit.
With all due respect, like obviously I said Isaiah Thomas was one of my favorite players ever in Celtics history, right? That was the peak, like the formative years of my fandom. Like those were the first, like for you too, those were the first, like this team is going to make the playoffs and has a chance to make a deep run. Like those were the first teams. Sick.
Right.
Saying my leadership alone would put this team over the hump. What hump? They're like, I get like
they haven't won yet.
Yeah, I know, and he did. With all due respect, again, like,
but I think
like there's no.
Could you say
to get over
say
this
all
team?
of Isaiah's teams overachieved?
Sure, but like this team is the best team in the league by a 6-game margin. You saying like my leadership will put them over the hump? They got the leadership this summer. They got Drew Holiday. They have Al Horford still. I don't know. I just think this, like, I don't even have to play a single minute. Just give me a jersey. Also comes across as like, please let me play. Like I don't know. I love Isaiah Thomas. I don't want this to come across like me hating on him. Just like I thought it was weird.
I love it.
I thought it was weird. Am I crazy? Like I just feel like it's a little odd.
I think it's a little weird, but like I don't know, man. Like we've talked about this for years. If they did this, I don't think anybody would get mad at it.
No, I don't either. But I just think the correct response is like, I appreciate you, bro. Like, yeah, love my time in Boston. Not, please give me a jersey. Like, I think I do this. Just give me the jersey. I don't even have to play a little bit, please. Like, that's how it comes across. Like, you could put a please in between every of these sentences, and that it would read the same way I interpreted it as.
It's fair.
Like
it's just, I don't think you're out of line saying that, but I think there is no negative to this. If he is okay with not having a real playing role on the
Do you think he means it? Do you think he means I don't even have to play a single minute? I don't know if I believe it. I think he'd get annoyed that he's not playing.
I don't think so. I think when's the last time he played an NBA game? 2022? After 2 years of not playing in a league game, I think he wouldn't mind just being on a team that's going to win a title or has a chance to win a title.
Knock on wood. I don't know. I don't mind it. I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm more open to the idea now than I have been in the past because the roster is so solidified and so like solid. I don't know. I didn't love the response. I thought it was a bit odd. The over the hump part too was just like
can't get over enough humps.
I guess
sometimes you just got to keep going.
All right. Like I said, I wouldn't complain to see IT back in Boston though.
I definitely wouldn't. That's my guy. One of the most incredible figures in like the team's history too. Like I don't know, just the 2.5 years of being a Celtic.
I wrote about it this summer. 100%.
Yeah, just unbelievable stuff.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Isaiah. But all right, let's go to the email here. Let's see what y'all have to say. I believe we only have a couple today. Again, no incognito comment.
No wheel.
What's popping? So no wheel today, but we will go to the email and shout out RJ because I think we've got a couple RJ today, baby. All right, what's popping? Speaking of Doc Rivers, afternoon fellas, with the Bucks deciding to elevate Doc Rivers apparently against his switches from consultant to coach. Any word on what the Celtics' own ex-coach, ex-ESPN analyst Jeff Van Gundy has been up to? That's all. Be well, RJ. No, he's just the organizational like senior advisor consultant. He's at the game sometimes. I know you've seen him there both the times you got to go. Yep. He's been at the practice facility a few times talking to Brad. I think he's genuinely just there like, yeah, I'll give my thoughts. I'll stay around the team. I'm pretty sure he's been up in Maine a little bit. Like, I think it's just he's around the team with his experience, ready to help where the team, if they need it. So I think that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has been around. That's a fact.
He's around. This is true.
Other than that, like I don't think he's really up to a whole lot. Like he's not Doc Rivers. He's not trying to be Brutus there to Caesar and get Missoula thrown out. So he's fine.
Yeah. Shout out Van Gundy. Next email and last email from RJ. What's poppin'? A quiet winning game. Even guys, that was a nice, boring 17-point victory outside of the second quarter, obviously, but still. If the Nets were a good way to ease into the All-Star break, the Bulls on the road were a great way to slide back into the groove. Even when the Bulls came back and took a halftime lead, it was more due to correctable errors like the Celtics overhelping on defense. Sure enough, the third quarter saw the C's go back to locking down and getting defensive rebounds. Nice to see Tillman and Springer both get some time at the close of the game, and a special props to Pritchard, who tried to get Springer his first Celtics points inside the last minute, but the pass got deflected. Best of all, the Celtics looked relaxed and confident on both ends of the floor without taking anything for granted. Lastly, it's time to start the magic number count. That combination of Celtics wins and Cavalier losses that will secure Boston the best record in the East, not accounting for tiebreaker, is now 22. I didn't know that, but that's
Celtics have the tiebreaker, so it's probably 21. And since this Cleveland has lost, so it's probably down to 20.
It's pretty good. We take those. It's probably down. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's kind of dope. That's kind of cool. Very fun to see. I was looking at the standings, and we'll talk about it excuse me, more when we get there. But actually, you know what? Let's just go there now. Thank you, RJ, for the email. Appreciate it. Let's check out the NBA standings now. See what the league, I should say, got cooking. I saw an Instagram post.
Oh no, that's never good.
No, it's good. It's good Instagram. And I'm never on Instagram. I don't know. I'll just tune in like when I'm bored of TikTok. I was lazy. But the gap between the Celtics and the Cavs, 7.5 games, is the same between the Suns in 8 seed, or is larger than this gap between the Suns and the 1 seed in the West. 8-1. I
saw that.
That's crazy.
That is big boy basketball from the Celtics, but they could use the extra help to get over the hump. I'm very happy with the way the Celtics have played lately. I know that it was a little rocky there before the break. It was like a lot of I don't think they're playing
relatively speaking,
the entire game. They kind of didn't get stops in the second quarter of the Chicago game, but besides that, they did a great job. RJ mentioned the third quarter. It's kind of remarkable that the third quarter has now become a good Celtics quarter after the whole first half of the first quarter of the season. I guess you could be like third quarter ass every single game.
I was talking to Bill Sy about this because he wrote an article like 7 stats to go with the 7-game win streak they're on because that's their longest of the season. Third quarters haven't just been like, oh, it's kind of a good thing. They're killing teams in the third quarter. Like, let me pull up the numbers. I screenshotted them so I can probably just look in my DMs real quick. Third quarters, last 7 games. I think this was post Bulls game. Celtics are scoring 30 points on 52-47 splits, 11 rebounds, 6.5 assists. Opponents scoring 23 points on 40-29 splits, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, the Celtics are just whomping teams. They're outscoring them by 7 points. They're holding them to terrible shooting splits, and they're shooting phenomenally. So, like, third quarters have gone from what are we doing to Celtics blowout real fast.
And I think that's a sign of good teams, too. I feel like there are a lot of teams that you could point at throughout history that have won a title that have been excellent third quarter teams. Specifically, the Warriors were always great in the third quarter. They were a team to fear coming out of the break. In the 2022 finals, that was one of the big storylines leading into it, is that they were just burying teams right after half. And that's the time to do it. You know, like...
Sorry, I was testing a button in ScreenYard. Apparently,
quit fucking around.
I didn't know that was a button. I think I could do it to us, too. Well, you can do full screen. So if I click this, sorry for audio listeners, we're testing stuff on YouTube. I can do that, and then I can do that. Put you up there by yourself. I can do this too.
It's lonely.
Get rid of it. I know it's weird. I don't like it, but yeah, good for the Celtics for turning it around in that sense. But speaking of their lead in the East, Celtics 7-game win streak, Cavs 2-game losing streak, which is good for the Celtics.
Yeah,
really,
it's funny. Now that they're not playing Mickey Mouse teams, the Cavs are all of a sudden not the best team ever. Who could have told you that?
Donovan Mitchell's also been hurt for like the
doesn't matter.
I will say though,
the guy's hurt.
The entire rest of the top of the East though, like the Cavs are still 7-3, but they lost 2 in a row. Past that, 4-6 in their last 10 Bucks, 5-5 in their last 10 Knicks, 4-6 in the last 10 Sixers, 5-5 in their last 10 Pacers. The Heat are 7-3, but even past that, 5-5, 5-5, 3-7. And Sam, look at what we have here. Look at the Wizards. They're giving us something.
Double digits. This is a big spot for our Pistons. You know,
Yes.
after. I mean, this is a serious prompt. If you were a Pistons fan, take tanking out of it. Would you be proud of your team who started the year 2-29 or whatever it was, 2-30?
Yeah.
For not being the last place team after that, that's pretty good.
What was their record
And
at one
fuck
point?
the
3 and what?
Wizards.
What was it? 3 and what?
I think they were 2-30.
Yeah, and then they were like 3-33 or something. They've won as many games in the last 10 as they did in their first 36. Like,
Yeah, they're back.
as much as it's bad, that's still improvement. Like, still, they are much better. And I'm not saying, like, you know what? You know what I'm gonna look up, Sam? Let me hit stat muse real quick.
Okay.
Jaden Ivey record as starter this season. Let's would you like to take a guess? Let's see if it pops up.
It's probably like at least 5 wins.
Still not great. 6-29, but comparatively, that means on the bench.
6 of the 8 wins came as him being a starter.
And the other 2 were, I think, the very start of the season, right? Like the first 2 games. They're 2-14 with him on the bench. So I'd say it's a bit of a difference. Yeah, Wizards.
Now we can root against the Wizards every single night.
Hell
the
yeah,
Wizards, by
I'm
the way,
in.
who I actually do not like.
Why?
I don't like Poole.
Fair. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for the Magic. They had such a promising start to the season, and then they just kind of like stopped being the super.
Well, they're
sick.
7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah, they're picking it back up, but they're only 5 games ahead of the Bulls. That's never good. If you're 5 games ahead of the Bulls,
only 5 games above the Timberwolves.
Wow, the Bulls are closer to the what is it? They're closer to the Knicks. The Bulls are closer to the Bucks, and the Bucks are to the Celtics. That's phenomenal. That's good stuff. Out west, Timberwolves, Thunder atop the Western Conference. Nuggets 1.5 games behind, as are the Clippers. Thunder have won 4 in a row, though. Mavericks are streaking right now, 7 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. Same for the Pels, 8-2 in their last 10, though they did lose their 1 in a row. Mavs and Celtics tied for the longest win streak in the league. Kings and Suns kind of meh, 5-5, 6-4 respectively. Lakers 7-3, Warriors back 8-2, and the Jazz, our Jazz, Sam, 2-8 in their last 10. Not very good.
Feels like the same thing as last year. Just kind of good, then fell off a cliff.
Yeah, not very good. I just don't think. I don't know. The Jazz. I know you were in on them as buyers, and I don't hate the idea of them being buyers. I think they just need to pick.
But they didn't.
They need to pick a direction. They're kind of like the Bulls, except with a brighter future. If that makes sense.
They're the Bulls if the Bulls had any assets at all.
Yes, exactly. I saw something on Twitter the other day. Actually, Kenny Beecham, King of the Fourth Quarter, posted, "Who has a brighter future, the Nets or the Bulls?" Genuinely. And you might say Nets, but like really think about it. Really?
Yeah. They have 1 billion draft picks. They have the Houston picks.
But not their own.
They have Phoenix's picks. Phoenix isn't going to be very good going forward. They're fine now, but are they going to be better than they are this year, next year?
I get it. Not. I think it's closer than people realize. The only issue is that Bulls don't want to take advantage of the future they could potentially have. Because like Kobe, I think Kobe White's going to be the best player on either of those 2 teams in a year from now.
You think so? You think he's better than Bridges?
Bridges is great, but what's Bridges' ceiling? Seriously. I think Kobe White can be an all-star. Do you think Bridges can be an all-star?
Yeah, I do. Especially because he plays both sides of the ball.
Do you think Bridges can be... I get it. Bridges is very clearly better than Kobe right now, but I just think... Like, I don't think Bridges will ever win a playoff series in Brooklyn.
No, I mean, probably not. I'm not sure
I think Kobe White
can
win a playoff series in Chicago is my difference. Because I think if they strip down and rebuild around Kobe White, Pat Williams, Adesunmu, that's better. And I mean, obviously, unless the Nets decide to, bring in an extra player and X here, this, and the other thing. Like if they bring in like Trae Young, you know what I'm saying? Like a 1A rather than Bridges being the one.
Yeah, but
I'll put it this way.
they could possibly do that. Like that's
fine.
possible.
Let me rephrase. I think Kobe White can be the best player on a playoff team. I don't think Mikal Bridges can be that right now, at least.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm really high on Kobe White. And I mean, I've said it a million times before. I think not taking X amount of first round picks for Bridges is foolish because like
it might be foolish.
I just don't get the future in Brooklyn. I just don't get the vision, man. What are we doing? Like they're so clearly awful. Like what is their record right now?
They are awful, but they have what is it, 5 sets of pick or 2 sets of 5 picks from 2 different teams? Like you could
but by the time
flip those picks. No. You could flip those picks now and get him Trae Young or somebody if you really wanted to.
I guess. I just mean like in terms of the players on the roster, I'll put it that way. I think the Bulls have a better potential future than they do when you account for the draft picks, I suppose. But I don't know.
I want a bright spot for the Bulls is all of their bad money is tied up with guys that aren't going to be around.
Yeah,
Bridges is going to be making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Johnson kind of makes a lot of money. It's very difficult for Brooklyn to put better pieces around these guys because they will be making more money. And that's where it's not as fun.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm out on that.
Actually, isn't Bridges' contract good right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Talking out of my ass. But you can't pay Bridges. And then it goes back to your point where who would you rather pay? Probably Kobe White, but not that much money.
You want to talk about good contracts, Sam?
Miles
Bridges right now. Mikal Bridges right now makes 21-7, 23-3, 24-9, right? That's really good. Kobe White for the next 3 years, 11, 12, 12.8.
Yep.
that's insane.
I mean, that's what happened to the Knicks with Brunson, and now they can bring in all these guys around him because nobody on that team makes any money.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see how it all shakes out. Next NBA thing, Steve Kerr, Warriors extension. Golden State.
Speaking of contracts,
keeping Steve Kerr around. 2-year, $35 million contract. Highest paid coach in the league ever at 17.5 a year. I know
that this aligns with Steph Curry's contract.
I did. Steph Curry will be off the books in 2 years. And my response to that is Steve Kerr, genius. Very smart man. Very, very intelligent person. Knows what he's doing. Because I think after those 2 years, see you later. Goodbye. Both gone.
I don't know if Curry's going to leave, but Kerr will leave.
I think it'll be if Curry leaves, Kerr leaves. If Curry stays in Golden State, Kerr re-ups.
Yeah, but I just don't see Curry leaving.
Then I think Steve Kerr will stay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How old is Steve Kerr? He's only 58. I thought he was older. He looks younger, but I thought I was going to be more surprised. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good for Steve Kerr. I mean, as much as they've been not as good as they'd want to be this year, like respect, like you pay him. That's Steve Kerr, right? Like you got to give him the respect money. It's the same why they paid Draymond. It's the same why they might or may not pay Clay. Same reason you pay Curry, $60 million when he's probably not going to be the same Steph Curry forever, even though he still magically is. You pay guys like that. So respect to Steve Kerr. I have no problem with it.
Warriors could be coming for a nice turn. And also, to go back to the Kerr money, there's no salary cap for the coaches. Not my money. Pay him whatever he wants. But, like, Kuminga's kind of playing well. I guess Andrew Wiggins is back. Like,
oh, yeah? I didn't see that.
Things are, like, trending in the right direction for the Warriors. I mean, we did the standings check. They've won 7 of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Now that Wiggins is not out of shape, he's a good player. He's the type of player you want to have playing alongside stars. You could say the same for Kuminga. They're actually kind of using them in the correct way where Kuminga's not coming off the bench. Like, if you move off of Clay, maybe you can fill in some more salary with better talent than Clay and compete again. It's not out of the realm of possibility because of how good Curry is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the lineups they're running now. The Warriors record this season, they are 29-26. Kuminga as a starter, 17-11. Pretty big
not
difference.
bad.
Pretty big difference.
Too bad they didn't
Who-
trade him to Celtics. TP.
Shut the fuck up. Who are they starting lately?
I think it's Curry,
curious.
Pods, Wiggs, Kuminga, and Draymond.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Good for them. Dude, Pokusevski, they found another guy. Like, that's so annoying.
Well, like, that's the
He's
thing.
nasty.
Like, why can't he just take on the role that Clay plays? I mean, he's kind of already doing that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, going forward, they found guys that are on cheaper contracts that they can afford to have next to Steph Curry.
You know what's miraculous? There was this whole, like, when they had to trade Jordan Poole, it was like, oh, they failed the dual youth movement, old movement thing. No, they just didn't have the right players. Yeah, and now they have Pokusevski, Kuminga, and I think Moody's having like an all right season too, even though he's not playing quite as much. But like,
Right.
They didn't fail the youth movement / old movement. They just failed which guy it was. And now they've got 3 guys who all look good. Like Kuminga and Pods are combining for 28 this year. That's pretty damn good.
And Pods is what, the 20-something pick? Or was he a second rounder?
Pokusevski was 19th overall pick. He's averaging 10, 6, and 4 on 46, 37 splits.
I mean, I remember we talked about him before the draft.
I know, we liked him.
We liked everybody.
Credit us, so we did like everybody. Speaking of liking somebody, the Thunder do not like Poku anymore, apparently. Thunder have waived Aleksej Pokusevski, no longer on the team. Tough year for the meme players. Killian Hayes, Poku, be gone. See you later. He was the 17th pick in 2020, and now he's no longer on the team. I remember Poku was a guy we briefly mentioned as, TP, maybe. But I think I hate
now
to say
people
it.
are like, Celtics, 15th roster spot, maybe?
I think Poku might be cooked, though. He's played in 10 games this season, Sam, averaging 6 minutes a game. Would you like to tell me what he's averaging?
No, I don't care. But what I can tell you is if he did not find a niche with this Oklahoma City Thunder group after being there the last couple seasons, I'm not convinced it's going to happen anywhere. They were starting from scratch after the bubble. He came in, had plenty of opportunity, and they just did not see anything they liked. He'll be on the Heat, but right now, I'm not sure anybody's going to go pick him up.
He played 24 minutes his first year, then 20, now 6 so far this year in 10 games, 1.2 points, 1 rebound, 25, 18 splits. So
Pistons. Call
not too hot. Not too hot for Mr. Poku. Those career high is 29. So shout out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had like a good game against the Celtics when they let
He had
the
19.
OKC Thunder snap the whatever.
He had
losing
19
streak
against the
they were on.
Celtics, but not in that game. No, he had 19 in a Celtics win 2 Marches ago, the 2022 March 19. I thought so too. So I like brought it up. I'm like, I feel like he did play well against the Celtics.
I mean, I'm sure
think
there's some team that will take him and take a flyer. I hope it's not Miami.
Yeah, he's still only 22 years old. He's 7 feet tall. Like, somebody will find something for him, but
Maine Celtics.
not right now. You brought him up earlier, Sam. Wizards have benched Jordan Poole. He is now coming off the bench, and in his first game off the bench, Jordan Poole put up a clean. Actually played well. I was going to mock him. 21 points, although he shot 7 of 19 and 2 of 8. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, minus 21 on the night in a 41-point loss to the Thunder. Only played 23 minutes, though. So Brian Keefe is mitigating his ability to hinder the team a little bit, I guess. But when asked about it, Jordan Poole said, if there's any common sense with the situation, you should know how I feel, but I'm just going to come out, do what I can do to help the team, keep it moving.
I don't know. I also feel like there's like a layer to this where it's just like, yeah, you're an asshole, dude. Like nobody feels bad.
Yeah,
like
that was
Draymond did not punch him in the face for no reason. It
is
out of control. Draymond is like, there's no way he just went up to one of his own teammates and hit him for no reason.
How crazy is it? So when that happened, at the time that happened, we were fresh off Were we fresh off the title year, or was it a year later?
Title year.
Fresh off the title year, right? And the immediate reaction, rightfully so, was, wow, Draymond's an asshole. What the hell did Poole do? Right? Effectively. Like, we knew there could have been some tussling or some, like, disagreement at practice.
I don't know if I ever was like,
the general consensus. The general consensus, though, was, wow, Draymond was probably majorly in the wrong here. Fast forward 2 years, it's like, dude probably deserved to get punched. Like the general consensus.
Top of the punch in the face power rankings. Just
he's
number
definitely
one,
up there.
Perpetually. He's such an asshole, and he won't admit it's his wrongdoing. He's just told people he has a ring. He doesn't care anymore. Like, this is the easiest guy to root against ever.
That was a nuts quote when he was just like, "Yeah, I got my ring. Now
I have a ring." Like, yeah, I don't know.
The worst part is he's not wrong. The worst part is he does have a ring now.
So yeah, like, whose fault is it?
I know.
Yeah, think about it often. Like, can't believe they let that happen.
I was convinced Jordan Poole was going to lead the league in scoring this year. I really thought he was going to average like 30. Like
everybody did. He was a big fantasy basketball pick, and
I know
the thing about that is, who's to blame but him?
I know.
Like, how? I mean, we saw Kuzma go there and be really good.
Kuzma's still really good.
Sheet. Yeah.
Kuzma's averaging 22, 6, and 4 on 46, 34 shooting. His 3-point percentage not that good, but Poole's 16, 2, and 3.5 on 40, 30 splits. What are you gonna do?
I really just think Poole is like, maybe he's just telling you the truth, like he literally doesn't care. If you watch him play, he plays the most nonchalant game of any NBA player. I saw that clip of him trying to dribble out to the 3-point line with his back to Kristaps, slowly turn around and throw up a 3 just to get blocked. Nobody else in the NBA does that kind of shit. And the thing about it is, he's not good enough to be even trying. He is in the biggest prove-it spot ever. And instead of going out there and trying to have some sort of personal pride, he just is like, hey, look how right the Warriors were.
It's special stuff, man. It's next level fuckery, I guess is the word for it.
Like, do you think he just doesn't practice?
I think
I would not be shocked if you told me that Jordan Poole does the required team activities and then fucks off.
Yeah, I just don't think he cares that much. I just think he's like, yeah, I'm just hooping now. Fuck it, I'm getting paid. Whatever.
Dangerous.
Crazy.
These guys.
I don't know if he'll be. Do you think he gets another contract past this one?
Probably not. Not if it keeps going like this. Here's the other aspect of this. If I'm another NBA player, let's say, let me spin the wheel of young guys, right? We'll just say somebody like, I want to say like Jalen Williams. Might be a terrible example, but he's a young guy on a good team who doesn't have all of the responsibility, and he's able to thrive behind Shea and also somewhat Chet. When he's due for a new contract, I don't think OKC is going to hesitate to pay him. But when you see somebody like Jordan Poole go out there and make an asshole out of himself, it's so much easier to question, how much should I actually devote to this guy? With the new CBA coming out, it's even worse. If I'm a young guy, I'm heated at Poole.
I get it. I don't think teams will treat them that way.
I don't feel like it's going to happen. But
I know. I feel like this will get treated more as the Warriors made a mistake judging character versus we need to watch out because a young guy could just want to do whatever he wants. I don't know though. I think the better example is Jalen Green.
Okay, perfect.
Versus if we're just spinning the wheel of Jalen's. I think like if maybe not as much. I don't know. Do you know what I mean with Jalen Green though? Like the vibe of just like, yeah, let me just get my buckets.
Yes.
Like that's what I feel like.
That's the correct pick. I don't mean to throw Jalen Williams in the same category as Jordan Poole. Just their situations were similar, not their play styles.
I know what you mean. But like now with Jalen Green and Şengün, I suppose is the one above him. But anyways, speaking of shenanigans, Mr. Doc Rivers is just it's special, man. It's special stuff. I found something new today and I thought it was a joke, but I'm pretty sure it's real again.
This is real. He said this multiple times, by the way. So go ahead. Sorry.
Both of these things, there's two. There's two new ones right here. I'll read the first one.
Oh, I didn't see the first one.
Yeah, per Rachel Nichols, Doc Rivers came up to her and said 2 other teams tried to hire him this season before the Bucks did.
I think one of them might have been Phoenix. Could
and he
be
declined.
wrong.
No. He's saying this season.
Oh,
during
in
the season.
So
I
what,
think
Washington?
so. I don't know.
And who else moved on
He
from their
said
coach?
the Nets, but that was after.
No, that was
I don't
after.
know. Like I'm gonna double
Not
check that he
Toronto.
didn't mean. Let me make sure that he didn't mean in general, because maybe it was in general, because we know the Knicks. He said Doc Rivers said 2 mystery teams tried to hire him before he took the Bucks job. Here, let's watch the clip.
All right, pull him up.
Let's take a look. Because like when I read before the Bucks job, that reads as like you know what I'm saying. Like doesn't read as like oh this summer. Like all right, let's take a look.
Getting criticism right now, but he said this.
I had committed to taking a year off. I had 2 other teams that had already called during the season, and we wouldn't even take the interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot, and
so yeah, during the season, right? So like
So that's what? No, Washington fired their coach after Doc got hired.
yeah, exactly. What the fuck is this guy
What
talking
teams
about?
needed a
I don't
coach?
know. I don't. Nobody did, but like it was in the context of like could fire our coach. So maybe it was Washington.
So maybe it was
and
Washington.
Brooklyn.
Maybe it was Brooklyn.
That's weird behavior, though. Like the Doc is so. I don't get it, man. Like, you think the Lakers called him?
No,
You think Phoenix called him when they were sucking?
maybe.
You don't think the Lakers called him when they were shit?
I don't know. I feel like there's a weird LeBron thing there.
Maybe.
I don't think LeBron wants somebody that has some sort of NBA resume because he can just walk all over them. Like Darvin Ham getting the job. I mean, look at LeBron's coaches since Spoelstra: David Blatt, Ty Lue, Vogel, who was the only established one, and they won a title.
Wasn't
Then
Walton his coach for a season?
was Walton the coach of the Lakers?
I think for 1 year, but it was the year
well,
that he was
just
like
throw him right in the pile.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
helping you out there. This isn't a I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was trying to give you more ammo.
Ham.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's been guys with very little experience coaching, and it's so he can just kind of have the final say. I don't think any inexperienced coach is going to be like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm sorry. They're not going to stand on the hill and die on the hill against LeBron. Doc Rivers might be, labeled as ass, but he does have enough experience in the NBA where it's like, I've been around the block, buddy.
Mhm. It
Since
is
you're back
crazy.
in 2010. Don't worry.
Yeah, looking at this LeBron team, when he first got there with Luke Walton as the head coach, like obviously it's not the same because players improve. Obviously, like they're not the players they were now, but like if this was a team in the 23-24 season, LeBron, Kuzma, Ingram, KCP, Lonzo, healthy Lonzo, Reggie Bullock, Alex Caruso, Ivica Zubac, Josh Hart, that'd probably be a really, really, really good team. It's insane how many like guys blossomed from there. Like Svi was on that team, Muscala, Mo Wagner were on that team, Mike Beasley was on that team. It is crazy how like many of those people turned into good players since then. Also, the second thing Doc said, he was talking to Tim McMahon of ESPN. I even brought it up to Kawhi. Are you sure? I think Shea is going to be an amazing player. It may take a year or two, but I think you're underestimating how good Shea is going to be. I didn't argue the decision or anything, but I brought it up and I just thought, is there any way we can do this deal without putting Shea in it?
So this is the second time he has said this.
About Shea or about a player?
Shea. This
Okay.
particular story. He also said on the Bill Simmons podcast before he got hired, because he was doing that show, I think, once every couple weeks. And he was sharing that anecdote because obviously Shea's been laying the world on fire. He was like, I always knew Shea was going to be good. And then I saw somebody be like, you literally buried him on the bench.
Let's see. Let's take a look. How many minutes was Shea playing under Doc Rivers? He just played his rookie season with the Clips, right? And then he was gone. His rookie season, he played 26 minutes a night, and he started 73 games. So I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it is just hearing him say, "Oh no, I knew." This is why the Lakers should have hired him. Yeah. I was gonna say, you got to bring him on board. I don't know if the other quotes true, but I saw something about him talking about Isaiah Joe. I can't find like a real source on it, but I saw a fake quote that was like, I knew Isaiah Joe would be a sharpshooter. I told Nick Nurse not to trade him. And I think it was parodying this. It's just, it's all time, man. He is. Can I ask you a question? I know you like Doc because he got the title. Is Doc Rivers a good coach?
I don't think so.
Was he ever?
Probably not.
Have we seen a player or coach ride the coattails of one championship more than Doc? There's got to be a player. I just can't think of one.
Give me a second. I got to hate for a second. I got to think.
That's fine. I'll filibuster. It's just like at every turn.
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say
Dirk? Not really.
No.
Just trying to think of guys that only won one.
I know, but I'm trying to think.
Lowry will be one of those guys, I think, one day.
No, I'm not talking even about like he was bad and he won a title. Like I'm talking about a guy who made a living off of one early career success. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who stayed in the league, somebody who stuck with it and like got opportunity after opportunity after one. Like a non-perfect example is Bismack Biyombo had like one good playoff series and then had like a contract past that and other shit. Like Gordon Hayward was an all-star, and I know the injuries got in the way, but then he got like 2 more $30 million like shit like that. Is like what the fuck? What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Doc's incredible, man. What a guy. The lying is generational stuff.
There's definitely a lot more coaches that you could be like, well, what about that guy?
Yeah.
I don't think Ty Lue's a bad coach by any stretch of it.
He's a phenomenal
he won
coach.
The one title, and then he really stuck around the league.
Yeah, but he's like proved himself since then. Like the Clippers, like you can see the coaching adjustments he makes. Like you can see it on a night-to-night basis. Has Doc made it to this conference finals since
No.
Boston?
Nope. Never made it with the Clippers. Philly doesn't go.
That is kind of crazy.
No, he did. I'm sorry. He did.
I think it was Ty.
Oh,
I think that was
Ty. It was Ty Lue. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Doc leaves. They got it. They did it. Special stuff, man. Special stuff. All right. Let's go to the rat list here. Would you like to kick us off?
Yeah. Start this one simple. Rat list, the guys. The guys left me on red in the group chat this week. I was like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? Nothing. Because I'm trying to plan out stuff well in advance because, you know, the two of us are very busy and then I've got other stuff going on. So I can't just sit there twiddling my thumbs until someone's like, what are we doing tonight?
Yeah.
You can't do it anymore. Those days have come and gone, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Tough. Ratless myself, and I know I've talked about this before, but I didn't realize the quantity to which the issue was. So I was cleaning off my desk yesterday. I'm in the process of cleaning my room because it's really bad. And whenever I get Chick-fil-A, which I haven't in a few days.
The streak's ended.
I always get extra sauce. And you know what? I'll just show. I think I can move my camera to show how many sauces I have on my desk. There's a little bit of other stuff, so it's still not like perfectly clean, but I think I counted a week or so ago, and it was like 30 something, and I've gotten it more since then. I know.
They haven't even been refrigerated. They're definitely not all good.
I know. I need to throw them away. I kept them on the desk for the bit, and then I'm going to put them in a plastic bag and get rid of them. But
yeah,
that's when you know. That's when you know it's a problem. When you see that many Chick-fil-A sauces on your, I'm never going to use them. I know I'm never going to use them. I know. On your desk. I want to do the bit. I'll let you do your next rat list, and I'll count them. So go ahead.
Okay. Rat list. The government. It's tax season. I did my taxes yesterday. And I mean, I'm sure you've got this last year. They rob you blind. Because when you do freelance work, like the two of us, they don't really take taxes out of what you get paid. So you get paid the gross amount. And then you end up having to pay when tax season rolls around. So not saying I wasn't prepared for it because I knew it was coming. But it's never fun when the figure pops up on TurboTax there. Shout out them. And it was just, I mean, not fun. Not as much money as I would have liked to have given away. Whatever. Too much money. I don't know. I should have had a coffee before we started. I've been fucking around the whole show.
You won't believe how many I have.
I think you have 45.
Up.
58.
Think the funniest number you can think of that I might
69.
have. Yep. That's incredible stuff. I started counting. I'm like, nah, it's got to be 70, right? I really can't have exactly 60. Like, that's just the world mocking me, and fair enough. There's probably something else hidden, but that's all-time stuff. Rat list Henry, and it's not his fault. It's my fault. So I'll rat list myself, but I'll sub rat list Henry. So we went to breakfast with my dad this morning at 9:30.
Nice.
However, I slept like shit last night. I had like indigestion because I ate food too late, which is my own fault still, but like I just couldn't sleep and I felt like shit. We're going at 9:30. He was picking us up at 9:30. And obviously I'm like, Henry, you should wake me up if I don't wake up to my alarm, which I should wake up to my alarm, which is my fault. Correct. Like hand up, my bad. Yes. I didn't wake up to my alarm. I felt like shit. Henry comes in, Jack, I'm sorry. It's 9:30. Dad's here. I'm like, what? I'm exhausted. I'm just like, all right, I get out of bed. And so it was just, and then like I came back home for breakfast and I just laid in bed for like 3 hours because like I was so tired. I didn't want to sleep, but you know the exhaustion you are when you don't wake up right. I was so fucked. And I've gotten like plenty of work done since then. It's just like I was like I've just been exhausted. Like I've felt exhausted all day because I just woke up like shit.
We need to have you on a regular schedule this summer.
It's been a lot better lately.
I'm gonna start calling you at 5
because of no.
It doesn't matter. It won't matter anyway.
I don't keep my ringer on, so good luck, buddy. It's been better though because talking C's like I have to be up at least a little earlier than I was previously, so I'm like slowly. You can laugh at it all you want, but it is significantly better than when I used to wake up. Like, let's not act like it's not.
You're living on Hawaiian time over there.
I know. Well, it's not like I'm going to sleep. I'm sleeping for 12 hours. Like I'm still getting 8 hours of sleep. It's just the wrong 8 hours. But yeah.
Ratless YouTube ads. So I was watching some highlights today. Now, mind you, this highlight video was no longer than 10 minutes. Why am I getting 3 sets of fucking ads in a 10-minute video? Nowhere else, anywhere where you consume media is throwing that many advertisements at you in such a short window. It doesn't happen. TV, they probably do once every 10 minutes for ads. Be serious, please, YouTube. But thank you for paying.
I was gonna say, watch what you wish for. I have to place our ads and stuff. I do,
but it's the NBA.
I know. For our ads, I do no. You can click like no non-skippable ads. So I only do skippable ads, because I hate non-skippable ads. And for full-length pods, I do every 15 minutes or every 12 if it's like not like an hour or 10, because then it gets a little awkward with the ending. So I usually do every 15, and then for videos under 40 minutes, I'll do like 12 and 12, but anything under that I'll just do one in the middle, and that's like in my brain. However, I have YouTube Premium, so I've not seen a YouTube ad in a long time, which is very nice.
Well, they got you.
It's, dude, with the amount of YouTube I watch, I wonder if I can see how many hours I've watched on YouTube. Do we know if that's a thing?
You don't want to tell everybody that.
I don't care. It's like my equivalent of TV. Like, it's not like I watch TV and YouTube. Like, I only watch YouTube.
Speaking of TV, do you have any more rat lists?
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna try to find this, but
okay.
Yeah.
While you look for that, I'll do a rat list. Rat list, Love is Blind. Now, are you familiar with Love is Blind, Jack?
Vaguely, yeah.
So if you're not familiar with Love is Blind, it is a dating show where they have, I don't know how many people. All right, I'm not watching it. I was showed this show by my girlfriend. She wanted to watch it when we went away last week. I forgot to mention this. So we're watching it. They have, let's just say 24 people. I don't know how many there are. There's a bunch of people. They have them all in little rooms, and they will talk to each other with a wall between them. And they're trying to develop a connection and prove whether or not love is blind.
Sure.
The rat list, one, I think the show is kind of whatever. Like, I don't care for those kind of shows. But the rat list is that I'm getting texts about how upsetting this show is. She's watching it and is like, I can't believe this. They dropped the wall and all of a sudden he's not interested. Really? You can't believe it?
Yeah. With all due respect, like, that's why love isn't blind. Like, that's why dating apps.
The other part of that is, like, I don't like, everybody has something that they like.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everybody has the same level of attraction to every person. It's subjective. But to say that looks don't mean anything to anybody is just a bunch of crap. And you're putting, these people all sign up for it, but you're making them look bad because they're not interested. And they have to, like, propose before they can see the person.
No. That's crazy.
Stop watching this stuff. It's like the #1 show on Netflix. Quit watching it.
Oh. Yeah, that's nuts. I can't look at my all-time watch history or my watch time, but I can tell you it tells me my past today in like X amount of days. For context, I keep it on when I sleep, so it does autoplay sometimes. But the last 7 days,
respect.
The last 7 days, I've watched 22 hours and 26 minutes of YouTube.
That's a lot. But if you're falling asleep to it, it's not that much.
Yeah. And it's just what I have on my second monitor while I'm working. So it's like background most of the time. Like I put on a podcast yesterday and I just like let it rock. So I see. There's some context to it. But anyways, that's all I got for Rat List. Yeah, is that all you got?
That's all I got.
W. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Once again, please like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it very much. Comment what's popping on the video. Check us out on podcast platforms, all that good stuff. And I'll let Sam take it home.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We are coming at you Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday with the full pods like this one. You also have Talkin' C's live Monday, Friday. There's a Wednesday ep that drops, but it's not live. You can also find our game recaps the day after any game. Sometimes they're embedded into the pods. Sometimes they are not, and they're on their own. And then every single game we're live a half hour before, so come hang out. It's a ton of fun. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. Follow us there for the audio pods and game recaps. You can also reach out to us via email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. I'm sure you guys have thoughts on whatever you watched last night. I sure hope it's good. And we will read them Monday when we record for Tuesday morning. So we love to hear from you. Please send us emails. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. Our streams are there and on YouTube and on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.